What's up, everybody? Welcome to another week of Q&A post Namm. It was a lot of fun. Let's see. Let's start going through the comment section. Bama Riffs. What's up, dude? Luis, how's it going, man? Good to see you. Ike Stoddard. He says, Houston checking in. What's up, dude? Matt Rosenthal. What's up? Ancient Mariner. Hey, how's it going? Randy Holdampf. What's up, dude? Clement. How's it going? Anders. What's up, dude? Rafael? Yeah, we'll go with that. What's up, dude? Luis asks, updates for plugins, please. Those are coming pretty soon. I know that they're working on them. The Namm show kind of took up a good chunk of our time, so I appreciate you guys' patience on that. But yeah, the updates are still on the way. Evad Namas says, hello from Bend, Oregon. What's up, dude? How's it going? Good to have you here. Modern Vintage says, well, Namm couldn't have gone any better for you guys. Everyone is saying the Cortex destroyed the Kemper, Helix, and Fractal, even their artists. I'm not gonna lie, dude. Like, the reception was incredibly positive. It was super positive. It kept us busy the entire weekend. I would sit down and then like 6 hours would go by and then I wouldn't know where it would gone. It was just a blur of smiles, handshakes, and guitar tones. So it was phenomenal. Really, really enjoyed the time. Let's see. Andres, what's up, dude? Michael D, how's it going, man? John Rodriguez says, hi, when is coming out? I don't know what you're talking about. Depends on what you're talking about. Because just clarify that for me. So, James Yellow, what's up, dude? Oh, dude, I mean, I don't know if you can hear it, but like my voice is still recovering from the weekend. It was pretty brutal. Like the first day was spent like screaming at people because the noise level was so ridiculous. We had like guitar players on one side blasting their amps. We had like some people with like sample pads, so had like little drum machines or whatever. Like it was fucking obnoxious, but it was good. So like my voice is still recovering and I'm still exhausted. Gonna take the next couple of days just to kind of like sleep, get to bed like at 8 o'clock, which would be awesome. But yeah, other than that, things are great, man. Just working on the next videos and starting to plan out what I got for the rest of the month on the channel. Yeah. Clement says, yeah, it was awesome seeing me everywhere. Yeah, no, that was a lot of fun. It was great to see. It was great to see so many people that had been talking to online, but had never seen before. The people from Neural DSP, all my coworkers, like I actually hadn't met them in person yet until the Namm show, which was really, really great to get to like hang out with them and build some relationships and just have a really, really great time with them. So, Matthias, what's up, my dude? Luis says news for plugins. News for plugins. Regards. You got to be more specific than that. The updates are on the way. You guys might have seen some stuff at the Namm show. So there's some stuff coming up. Tony Diaz says, what's up? Very excited for the Cortex. Wondering if you'll be sourcing to outside realtors? Yeah, I think you mean retailers. If so, do you know who yet? I don't know that yet. That wasn't really my department. That we had somebody hired on to do that portion of like distribution and sales and stuff like that. So I'm not sure exactly who we're going to be using for distribution. So, but that'll come in time for sure. I mean, like we're like 8, 9, 10 months out, whatever. So we'll definitely be sharing all of the news with you guys as we go. Let's see. Ike Stoddard asks a Cortex question. Did I see testers turning the foot switches like pots? Yes. Yeah, the knobs, like the switches, are rotary knobs. So you can use those to change the parameters. Like it's kind of cool because it's like it's a hybrid of touchscreen and rotary knobs. So you can use it like a touchscreen, like you could just press and like grab knobs like that, or you can use the little twisty knobs, as people have been calling them. Michael Austin says Port Charlotte, Florida in the house. Hashtag tier one. What's up, Michael? How's it going, dude? Good to see you hanging out, man. Sebastian Casale asks, any conclusions from the people's feedback on Namm? It was overwhelmingly positive. We were so absolutely busy the whole weekend. I mean, like, part of that was also because we only had 2 units out, so that way we could kind of control the flow of people and show examples of stuff. So it was me, it was Doug, it was Francisco, and Seba, all like kind of demonstrating the units and stuff like that. So we were super busy, but like the reactions from the people were so outstanding. Like I said, overwhelmingly positive. The only complaint that I really heard throughout the show was just like, I have to wait for it to come out. Like, you didn't know it, you didn't know you wanted it until a week ago, so you can hang on for a little bit. Like, I'm just as excited to get it as everybody else. So it's coming out soon. As soon as we want to make sure that everything is perfect for when it ships. So yeah, no, it's gonna be great. So okay. Yeah, Randy Holdamp says throat coat tea, bro. Yeah, I know that stuff is the best. It's getting better. Like, I think in the next couple of days I should be ready to start filming the next couple of videos. I got another FAQ coming out this Friday, which I go over oversampling switch in probably more detail than I need to, but I like being thorough and I like being straightforward. I like giving you the exact reasons why it's a good thing and why you would want to do one or the other. So yeah. So Jay Juarez asks, hello, anything you saw at Namm that you thought was cool besides neural DSP products? To be honest, I was so busy with the booth that I did not get any chance to go anywhere else. I did sneak a peek at one of Tosin Abasi's guitars. The Abasi guitars, it was pretty sweet. I really like the sound of it. And it's actually like it's deceptively light. I think because the guitar is so like takes up like a volume of space in front of you, like it looks heavy, but it's actually like incredibly light. And the neck profile is pretty comfortable as well. But I didn't really get a chance to check out much. Oh, there was an Aristides guitar at the booth. It was an 8-string that was pretty cool. I had never actually gotten a chance to check out the Aristides before, but I liked that one. What else was there? I heard the new Fortin amp was pretty dope too. The Evil Pumpkin, I think it's called. So I'm really excited to check that one out as well when I get the chance. Yeah. So that I think that's gonna be pretty cool. Let's see. Matt Rosenthal asks, will the Quad Cortex have the ability to tweak amp parameters like bias, sag, saturation, changing tubes, or is that not even necessary? I think if it's built into that specific block, maybe, but that's not that's not in the model as of yet. That might be something that they look into getting. I know that like right now they're still getting everything ported over. So if that's something that people want, that might be something that they end up shipping out. I don't know. But as far as right now, like, I don't think that is exactly necessary because like I feel that you're going to get enough variations of individual models that I think that you'll have the flexibility that you want with the specific ones. Like, I mean, like the models that we had available for the Namm show, I feel cover like the gamut of so many different styles and tones already, and there was only 6 of them ported over at the time. So I think that you're going to have more than enough covered for that, for options. So yeah, let's go ahead and take a look. Michael D says he's good. Just finished up his latest case studies on music conspiracy theories. Dope, dude. That sounds awesome. Jorge asks, are we going to see MIDI capabilities added to the archetype Pliny? Has it been added and I just missed it? No, that's coming in the next update. There's a couple of things that I know one thing that kind of like set them back a little bit was an update in Reaper. That was one of the reasons why the Nolly update got pushed back, was because Reaper updated their stuff, so now we have to update to make sure that we are consistent with that. So like each time one of these manufacturers updates their DAW, we have to then like update our stuff to make sure that it's compatible and runs smoothly with everything. Like if you can imagine like every possible combination of CPUs, DAWs, OSs, all of that stuff, and then like try and make a system work for every single version of that. That is what they have to do with our software. Like that, they have to make sure that it is compatible and runs smoothly on everything. So it does take a little bit of time, but I know that they're working really hard on it currently. So it'll come out pretty soon. Dominic H asks, "What's your guys' problem with Rev?" I have no problem with Rev. I don't know if there's a I don't know if there's a particular perception about us and Rev. So I don't know. I don't know if I can really answer that question. I have no problem with them. I think they're pretty dope. But yeah. So there you go. That's my opinion. I think they're dope. Okay, so let's go back up and find this question real quick. Okay. John Rodriguez asks, okay, so when is the Quad Cortex coming out? So the first tier that's already sold is shipping in September. The second tier is shipping in November. So that's when the pre-orders are shipping out. So. Rafal asks, when will we hear or YouTube videos some serious comparisons of sounds to the competition? Oh! You're talking about the Quad Cortex being compared to the Axe FX or the Helix or the whatever. I'm not really sure actually. I imagine that's probably going to start coming in about like 5 or 6 months, maybe a little bit more. Because we want to make sure that we get our stuff into the hands of people to demo it and to, like Rabea Assad, Ola England, like those people, we want to make sure that we have all of our stuff together and ready for production and shipment before we start sending that stuff out. So I imagine that's probably going to take about 6 to 8 months, I think, something like that. Other than that, we're going to be putting out YouTube videos on updates and tone demos and tutorials and stuff like that very regularly. So you guys are going to keep seeing stuff from us about that as it rolls out. But serious demos are probably going to come sooner rather than later, but I'm not exactly sure what the timeline looks like. All right, I'm going to hop down. Plastodon asks, what CPU spec do you recommend to run multiple instances of Bossy or Pliny? Well, let's take a look. That's a pretty good question. I don't know. Let's say, I'm just looking up the FAQ. Forum podcast videos. Plugins. Let's see if there's a plugin FAQ at the bottom down here. FAQ. System requirements. Okay. So it says the Mac OS minimum requirements: Intel Core Duo 2, Intel Core 2 Duo processor, 2.1 or higher, 4 gigabytes of RAM, and then Windows minimum, Intel Core 2 Duo, 2.1 or higher, similar specs. But yeah, no, so like they say the recommended requirements is an i5 processor, and I would agree with that. Like if you want to run multiple instances of the plugins, you probably want to go with at least an i5 processor. Like I have the i9 because I know I run like massive sessions with plugins. Like I'll show you the Let's see here. I'll show you the the session that I did for the for the competition. So I have Archetype Pliny's effects on this one. I have Fort Nameless on the focal throw, and then I have Archetype Pliny. I have Abasi, Nolly. No. This is Nameless and Abasi and Nameless and Nolly and Nameless. Oops. And then I have Parallax. I have Nolly. I have so much stuff going on here. Yeah, so like I run pretty big sessions, and I don't even think that this is the biggest one that I've done so far. I think that might have been the Carol of the Bells session, but yeah, I run the i9, and I find this pretty necessary. But i5 at the minimum if you want to run like a handful of instances. But then once you get to that point, like if you're running more than your CPU can handle, there's a couple of things that you can do to yeah, no. So I see that you say I need to get an i9 system. That's not it. I have an i9 system so that way I can keep them all active. If you have anything less than that, I would suggest using like something like freezing or committing your plugins, so that way you cut down on CPU cost or CPU resources. But generally, like an i5 is like kind of the minimum or is the recommended. But yeah. Yeah, Evod says even with an i7, you'll run into limitations. You can use tricks like freezing tracks. Yeah, so freezing tracks, or while you're recording, run it on normal oversampling instead of high, and then once you finish recording, run that on high, and then commit that or freeze it. Like there's a bunch of different ways that you can do it. So, okay, so hopefully that answers your question. Yeah, Modern Richard says, congrats to you guys for winning the Namm Award. So that was from Music Radar, giving us the award for best guitar effects pedal, I think it was. Yeah, it was dope. It was super cool. They came by, they did a little interview with me. If you check out their YouTube channel, you'll see me kind of fumbling through the interview and some guitar tones. So it was a lot of fun. I was super stoked that they came by. Really, really nice folk. And I like that. I like that a lot. So let's go back up through the comments. Let's see. JH. I think it's John. I think your name is John. JHMCWHA. I'm pretty sure it's John. I'll just say John. What's up, John? Asks, is there going to be an acoustic simulator in the Quad Cortex? Well, I think that you'll be able to run your acoustic into the Quad Cortex without any issues and use the parameters inside. I'm pretty sure that they'll be able to port some good acoustic effects. I think that's actually something I want to go over at some point. Is how to process your acoustic guitar to make it not sound like a guitar DI, because I hate the sound of a guitar DI or acoustic DI. It's awful. So I think I might go through a video if that's something that you guys are interested in on how to process acoustic guitars. Ancient Mariner asks, is there a new plugin called Omega? Quite possibly. I'm sure you guys have probably seen the pictures from the Namm show, so yeah, it's gonna be pretty cool. Matthias asks, the Cortex definitely seems awesome, but for someone like me, just fiddling around at home, it's an overkill. So will there be a smaller, more affordable model coming out at some point? We'll have to see. I can't really talk about a lot of the future stuff coming out, but we'll see. Let's see. Christian asks, how soon do you think until we can hear some of the reverb algorithms in the quad cortex? I think pretty soon. As far as my understanding goes, like as far as getting everything into the quad cortex, optimizing it all so that way it's functional and, you know, not like making sure that everything is perfect and everything is going to work well with each other. I would say probably in the next 2 to 3 months. So pretty soon. Ike Stoddard says foot switch pots are a jump on the user interface design that you got to first, but should have already been widespread. Wow, good job. Okay, yeah, no. I think that's a really good point. It seems like a very simple solution. That is one of those like sort of obvious simple solutions. I know that TC Electronics did something similar to that on one of their pedals before, but I think it's just that we've kind of got a hype going around it so that people are noticing it a lot more, because like TC Electronics is a well-established company. But I'm like, I wasn't aware that they did that before. Like, and I think that it's a pretty brilliant design. And I think it was Doug who actually engineered the design of the knobs for the quad cortex. So that's it's not a new idea, but it's definitely something that we are, you know, using to our best advantage. So, but I appreciate you saying that. Oh, Michael D says he's excited for the new Fender Lead 1 and 2. Yeah, no, that's going to be pretty cool. Marcus says Fortin is insane. I agree, dude. I'm so excited for the stuff they're coming out with right now. Mike is a super great guy. I got to meet him briefly at the Namm show. Okay, yeah, I'm probably falling behind on questions because this one is from Robbie Timms. He says, are content creators, Ola, Fluff, Pete Thorne, etc., going to get early units to demo? If so, what timeline are you looking at for the demos? Yeah, so I think I heard Doug say, either Doug or Francisco, I'm not 100% sure, but I think he said, no, Francisco? I think it was Francisco. I don't know. I heard something along the lines of like six months. So you're gonna be able to hear like final production demos and tones before they actually ship out. So should you feel the need to, you know, get the refund on your pre-order, that will be, you know, you guys are gonna know what you're gonna be buying into for sure. So I wouldn't worry about that. Rod Kings says, "Hi, Steven. We know that there is something Omega coming up from Neural DSP. Anything you can tell us?" I can tell you it's pretty awesome. I'm actually not sure how much I can really talk about that. I know it was there at the Namm show and people saw some pictures, and it's pretty cool. So I like to err on the side of caution. So I'll hold off on talking about that too much until next week when I can confirm. Dude, this weekend has been all sorts of crazy, and I'm still recovering. Oh, that's a good question. Samuel Tiskling asks, will you be making something like a developer diary leading up to the release of the Quad Cortex, following the progress, etc.? I would really, really like to do that, actually. You know what, Samuel? So like I'm actually talking to like the Neural guys and possibly my girlfriend who wants to come with me. I might actually go out to Finland at some point, and that's something that I would absolutely love to do. Because these guys work so hard to get you guys something that is amazing. Like, they are tireless in their efforts to make sure that you guys get something that's awesome. So I would love to showcase them, because I've gotten to hang out with them the past week, and they are amazing people, and I've really enjoyed my time with them. So yeah, that's something that I would absolutely love to do. Let's see. I'm gonna guess it's Matthias Margraf asks or says, I sometimes do hefty EQing because nosy and noisy cello pickups. Yeah. Will it be possible to use several instances of EQs in chain? Yes, absolutely, Matthias. Oh, okay. So I think that you commented on the cello. I think I remember your picture. Um, Something about cello commander. I think something along those lines. But yeah. I remember your name. So, yes, if you're in the quad cortex, you can use in serial as many EQs as you want. And they have up to 8 bands, I believe, and each one of them can be any specific Q type. So like shelves. Or high pass, low pass, or something like that. You can have multiples in serial. So you can use as many EQs as you need. You can also use it in parallel as well. Um, Julian Del Rio asks, or he says, I'd like to see a video comparison between Neural Quad and Real Deal and how it sounds Neural face to face with a real amp. I will happily do that. Because I'm actually planning, I have something like 20 amps in the room next to me. So what I want to do is I want to capture all of them and then give you guys like maybe even a blind A/B test or something like that. But I really want to showcase the power of the quad cortex. So like I would actually be taking the physical models that we use like pretty much on a weekly, sometimes monthly basis that are in the studio, and then I want to just show like how accurate it can be to the real thing. So yes, that absolutely will be happening. Do 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 do. Daryl asks, will any of the amps or effects from current plugins be included with the Cortex? So yes. If you own copies of the plugins, they will be ported to your Quad Cortex. Yes. That'll happen later on down the line when we get that all compatible with the current stuff. Mad Axeman asks, will there be HX Stomp equivalent or the full scale version in the full scale version of the quad? I think so. I don't remember the exact list right now, but yeah. Ryan says, how ridiculously good is Nolly as a player? He must have perfect pitch or something. Dude is talented beyond measure. Like I wish I had a small fraction of the talent that dude has. Like I feel generally like a hack most of the time when I'm listening to him play. But yeah, no, he's got to have something close to that perfect pitch, and just like he also has like a measure of focus and intensity when it comes to researching subjects. Like just I've not gotten to talk to him personally myself, but any like firsthand accounts I've spoken to other people who know him, he has like a level of concentration when it comes to like focusing in on an aspect of a subject that is just like being able to learn and measure like the like impulse responses. That dude probably has thousands upon thousands and thousands of impulse responses just on like extra hard drives and stuff like that, because from testing and just like wanting to learn the subject matter as fully as he possibly can. So yeah, that dude is incredibly intelligent, incredibly diligent, incredibly talented. So yeah, there's a reason why he is who he is now. Let's go ahead and go through. Clement asks, well, he says, Steve, convince me to not buy an XFX 3, but a quad cortex instead. If you're asking me to do this, I feel like I don't have to, because you're already considering it, because the cortex is just going to deliver on more of the awesome products and quality that Neural DSP is known for. Having a box that can be your interface as well as do all the offload, off side like internal DSP of the the algorithms and everything like that is so worth it. Not only just that, but also having the neural capture, I feel, is worth the investment price alone, because I feel like the neural capture algorithms are going to be so much more closer to the realism of the amplifiers that you're capturing. Like our modeling is so beyond what so many people are doing today. Yeah, I mean, like honestly, I feel that it's gonna be I don't know if revolutionary is the right word for it, but I feel like the quad cortex is that step forward that modeling has needed over the past like 5 to 10 years. So I feel like Neural has asked themselves, what are people going to be needing in 10 years time, rather than what are they going to be needing today? And the quad cortex is the answer. Um, so yeah, so that I mean that's kind of a lot of that is my opinion. But I feel that it's genuine just from my experiences and knowing the company, knowing the brand, knowing the people behind it. I know that they have the end user first and foremost in their priorities as far as getting good quality construction equipment and just an experience to the end user. Um, they have that mindset that they want to make sure that that people are happy with their product before they think of anything else. So yeah, so I mean, like, I definitely have uh I guess faith in their delivery of a product that is earth shattering. Having gotten to play with it the entire weekend too, like I got to firsthand experience how easy it is to use it, how much it'll cut down on my own personal workflow, and then like how versatile the tones you can dial into it are. So yeah, so that's kind of my spiel on it. So you can take that for what you like. Um, at a certain point, the product will speak for itself, though. That's how I feel about it, and I think that is the best kind of product to back. Is that, like, I really don't have to sell it. It will sell itself because the quality will speak for itself. So yeah. All right. That's my rant at an end. All right. Yeah, Modern Vintage chimed in kind of what I was talking about. Pricing on the Cortex is so fair, especially considering all the plugins and such you get for free. Great people, great products. No, I appreciate that, man. That means a lot. Marcus asks, why is it only $200? It is not $200. It is $15.99. The $200 is just the deposit to reserve your copy or reserve your model. So yeah. Yeah, and everybody just answer that below. So I should probably continue reading before I reading through the comment section before I yep. All right, great. It's gotten more and more difficult as more and more people hang out on these calls. It's more and more difficult for me to keep up with the comment section. So I do apologize. I do apologize if I accidentally skip over your questions. There's a lot to get through. Yeah, Clement says, thanks, Steve. You kind of convinced me. You're a great seller, dude. You know what, dude? I'm not. I am the worst. Like, this face does not lie. Like, I like time and time again. I've like, when somebody asks you like, oh, what do you think of this music? It's like my face just goes like this. It's great. Like, I can't get this to not like be like to not do this. So really, like, it's a matter of like I am fortunate in that I work for a company that I can wholeheartedly back the product, and like all I can tell you is the truth from my own subjective experience, right? So like that's how it is. Because I feel like that's like the best way to be. Like, I am no salesman. Like, I worked in a guitar shop for like 12 years, and I was like, I sold guitars not by selling the guitars, but by just making sure the people got what they needed, if that makes sense. Like, I was never interested in trying to sell for a number. It's more that I wanted the people coming into my shop to be treated as an individual that has needs and wants, and I sought to fulfill those needs and wants in the most practical manner as possible. Yeah. Clement says, and how can I work for Neural DSP? You apply. I think there's some career applications still up on the website. If you want to go, email whatever the link is and see if you fit the role. Modern Richard says that mini bar behind you is so gentleman. You're the man. I appreciate it, man. Okay, I'm not gonna lie. I'm this actually was the doing of my girlfriend, my wonderful girlfriend. She used to work in the liquor industry, and she wanted to make sure that I had a nice liquor bar here for when I had, was I was entertaining some guests or whatever. So this is all her doing, and she's amazing for it, and I love her very, very much. Yeah, so she helped me collect the correct, like whiskeys and some tequilas and stuff like that, and it's awesome, and I love it. So yeah, so she's been great about that. And this was all her doing. Um, okay. Martine asks, Martin or Martine, I'm not sure, asks, is it to be made in Finland? I'm going to guess that you're talking about the quad cortex. I believe that it's going to be manufactured in China, if I'm not mistaken. Um, yeah, let's see. Michael D says, I'm honest about the music I hate. It's gotten me in trouble a few times, but it's my thing. No, I feel it, dude. People have have stopped asking me opinions about their music because they don't like getting the truth. Because I I find that it's the best way to navigate through the world. It's like, you know what? You want my honest opinion about it? I will give you my honest opinion about it. Um, So Evod asks, any news on simultaneous wet and DI recording, as in using USB 7, 8 for DI on a different track? Yes. You can definitely do that. Um, Mijakui, I don't know how to pronounce that. M Jackie, there we go, because that's gonna be my American pronunciation. Asks, do you really think the profiling process is more on point than Kemper? I guess that's what everybody wants to know. I think so. I've heard the results of it, the tests, and I've been extremely impressed. So yeah, I mean, like, and it's one of those things where that will come to light very, very soon. I know that that's something that we want to create a lot of, like, we want to create a lot of content around it, because I think that alone is going to be, like I said, worth the investment. So yeah, I do think that it is, because Kemper's been using basically the same technology to profile their stuff for the past like 5 or 10 years, if I'm not mistaken. So yeah, so I think that I think that they've done a really, really good job of making the neural capture as close to human perception as possible. So yeah. Modern Vintage asks, based on hands-on feedback at Namm, what did everyone say is better about it in their experience? Probably one of the things was like the it's funny how many people after Wednesday's video started asking for tones that they called edge of breakup. That was something that I heard on a really, really consistent basis. But a lot of people loved how dynamic it was, because some of the amps kind of model similarly to like Dumble, Fender, Marshall kind of stuff. So like that, like low gain, clean, but like if you press it hard, it starts to kind of break up the signal. A lot of people were really impressed on how dynamic the quad cortex was. Not only that, but also like for a lot of the heavier players out there, um, that pressure, right? Like, because we were listening in headphones, because the Namm show is so fucking loud. Like, we had to have good headphones on hand so people could really experience the quad cortex without like outside interference. Like, it ended up cutting out a lot of the noise, which was great. Saved my ears a lot of trouble. But the pressure was something that a lot of people really noted, was that, like, if you're like doing heavy pommies, like shook, 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 like you have that like that low end bloom kind of pressing against your ears. A lot of people are really, really digging that it was A, dynamic, and B, really like responsive to like different styles of playing, and having that like that air pressure kind of hit you was really like was really a big hit. Um, let's see. Oh, 666 Pearl asks, hi, how many amps and which are you planning to ship the quad with when it's ready? Cheers from Denmark. A lot. I think we have at least 50 amps planned for release. And it's going to be a mixture of guitar and bass amplifiers. You'll get, I mean, there's going to be lists coming out for sure. I don't have them on hand, but there's going to be a lot. Um, WP asks, did you try the new Fortin amps on the at the Namm show? What do you think about them? Are there any plans on a plugin of these? I don't know if there's any plans. I think that people are open to it, but I don't know if anything official that's actually happening. But I mean, it makes sense. To me personally, I think that it would be really cool to see because the Fortin amps have always been very, very popular with the neural DSP crowd. So I think that that would be a great pairing to see happen. But I don't know of any official plans for that. So it is just it's just we'll see what happens. Let's see. Did you so modern vintage asks, did you see the nebulous silver sky? No, I didn't. Let me look at that up real quick. Nebula silver sky. Oh, PRS. No, I didn't get a chance to see that actually. And it's kind of like I said, it's kind of a bummer. Wow, I look really pale right now. I put up a light just because I felt it was a little too dark, but I think my camera's kind of adjusting to make me super duper pale right now. um, Alien loves Alien Loves Secrets says mere good tube amp sound will never be outdated. Yeah, no, I agree. Well, and it's funny how much pushback we're getting from some people, and I don't know if this is your stance or what you're trying to say, but like a good tube amp sound will never be outdated for sure. Like I don't think that I don't think physical models will ever go away. But I think that having something to cut down workflow on certain aspects will always be in demand. Having the quad cortex be there to cut down on workflow, simplify things, and kind of give you an all-in-one solution, that's going to be the choice of so many people. Oh, he says, therefore the Kemper will be still modern in 100 years. Only it's you. Or cool. Okay. Yeah, I don't know. Anyway, Williams Aaron asks, there was a picture floating around of a neural plugin might have had an Omega amp on the screen. Is that a soon thing? Again, I'm gonna err on the side of caution. And I think that yeah, we got something coming out. You guys will see. It's pretty dope. I got to play around with it for a bit, and it's awesome. Okay, I'm not sure what's happening there, but all right. Stefan Dupont asks, well, let me take a look at something real quick. So quad cortex. So okay, so Stefan asks, whoa, where did it go? There it is. It says, will the final product be light gray like we see in Namm videos or more dark gray black like we see on the website? It's going to be more light gray. If you look at the website, like you can tell, like there's definitely like lighting, like it's a like little bit darker lighting, so you can see the contrast. You can see how it works. So like some of these images on the website, you can tell it's a light gray. It's kind of that brushed like satin, I guess, gray. So yeah, it's going to be more light gray than black or dark gray. Brian J. Malmsteen asks, any plans of making the device with different colors? I don't know, actually. I know that the initial ones are probably going to be silver or like, gray. But I'm not sure if they're planning on making them like black or white or anything like that. Maybe eventually, but I'm not 100% sure. Stefan Flannery asks, will the Quad Cortex be able to support third-party plugins? No, unfortunately not. Okay. Quarog Tattoos asks, why no expression pedal on the QC? Well, it has expression out, so you can plug in an expression pedal into it. I think that they wanted to make sure that it was as portable and light as possible, especially for the first one, so that way you can take it with you to any gigs. So, like, not everybody's going to be wanting to use an expression pedal, but it does have the inputs for them. So I think it's more about like form, like function over form. So like I have one of these Behringer FCB 1010s, and having the expression pedal on it is nice, but I would really not use it a lot. But it does have the expression pedal ins, so 2 of them, so you can have 2 expression pedals plugged in. So yeah, I think that's it. Okay. Alien Love Secret says, yes, that's what makes me nervous about the QC. If it delivers tube amp sounds like the Kemper, well, I have a new toy, I guess. Can't wait to hear it. Honestly, I think that the tones are going to be better than the Kempers. I hands down, having worked with Kemper and the Axe Effects before, like in some small way, like I think that the Quad Cortex is better, in my opinion. So, not to say that they have a bad product, but I think that, like I said, I think the Neural DSP is just pushing the envelope farther than companies have before. So, yeah, I think that if you're looking for that nice tube amp sound, I think the Quad Cortex will more than deliver that. Evod says, will the Cortex fix all of my alternate picking issues and turn me into a pick slanting monster? So maybe not directly, but indirectly, it'll shorten up your workflow, so you can just get to the playing and the practicing faster than if you had to set up your own full stack, half stack, whatever. So I think that in that it's gonna cut down on your workflow and make things easier to practice and have some fun with it. Yes, but directly, nah. Fucking. Yeah, it's like somebody was saying that asking me if the Abasi guitars come with his talent, and it's like, well, no, unfortunately. Matthias says +1. Oh, geez, the chat just jumped on me. Oh yes, +1 for light gray. Assume it's better than for playing outside because eventually heat issues. Yeah. So actually, the chassis is made of aluminum, so that's actually going to be better heat sink for than like tempered steel or something like that. So, but it's still very, very durable. It's very nice. I mean, it was running for pretty much 4 days straight without any heating issues. Guitars and Gear podcast ask, will new effects be added after release of the Quad Cortex? And do you plan on updating algorithms based on feedback? Absolutely. I think that's one thing that Neural has done a really, really great job of so far. Being a user and being somebody who uses their products, regularly, even if I wasn't working with them, I would totally use their stuff constantly. They've been very, very good about taking consumer feedback and critiques and applying them to their product. So I think that there's definitely going to be a lot of updates after it comes out, based on user feedback. I mean, like, they're considering putting in a looper just because people have been asking about it. So I think that they've done a really great job about listening to the consumers' wants and needs. So yes, so stuff will be added in later on after release, and as there's more updates and effects and stuff like that will be coming out for sure. Yes. Marshall says, hello from beautiful Northeast Oregon. What's up, Marshall? How's it going, dude? Um, Giancarlo asks, any idea whether the Nameless will ever be updated with EQ, delay, and reverb in the style of the Pliny? I don't know that answer actually. It just got updated with the MIDI, but I'm not 100% sure on whether they're going to put like the EQ or effects into those or not. I don't know if they can or not. Depends on obviously depends on like uh, contract stipulations and stuff like that as far as modifying the product that was agreed upon. But I think that would be something that they would probably consider, because I think that would be a great addition to the things, because I don't particularly like pulling up the Nameless and then opening up an additional thing of the Pliny to get the effects section in front of it or after it. But we'll see what happens. I think that it would be a pretty good move, but that's not my call to make, unfortunately. Jorge says the quality of the amp model seems to be the focus. Will there be just as much focus on the quality of the effects? I think that is the fault of the current advertising and the comment sections and comment threads that we've been kind of dealing with, is that we want to ensure that people understand that we are taking the most amount of time possible to get the modeling and the algorithms as perfect as possible for the overall sound, because the effects like reverbs, delays, wahs, like all of that stuff is getting just as much attention, but people are more concerned about the tone of the amps. So that's probably why that's probably why you're asking about the amp models versus the effects and how much attention and focus will be on them. But it's mostly just because we've been having to answer those people who are asking about the amps, and not necessarily that we're not focusing on the effects, like the reverbs and the delays, the compressors, the overdrive pedals, the wahs, the filters, modulation, like all of that stuff is getting so much attention right now, because it all has to work perfectly within the system that we're building. But again, it's just that like what you probably end up seeing the most is just that we are answering the people who have been asking about the amps, because that's the majority of the questions that we've been getting. So I'm glad that you asked that though, because yes, we are putting a lot of focus on the effects and making sure that they sound amazing, sound just as good, if not better, than the plugins that we've been making. So yes, 100%. I'm glad you asked that, Jorge. Thank you. Marshall asks, how did you get the B pedal on the FCB 1010 to work? Which one's the B pedal? I don't even remember. If you're talking about the wahs or the expression pedals, they're on individual channels. So for the plugins, it was just MIDI learn, and then it was I think it was like channel 26 and 27, or 25 and 26, that are the express like CC message channel. But yeah, that was I think that's what it was. Like it was a lot of testing, and it was a lot of like arduous like numbers and writing down like notes on what this was and what that was, and yeah, that sort of stuff. Michael D says he's out. Got to drive home. See you next week. Have a good one, Michael. Good to see you, my man. Um, JM asks, what does the live performance screen look like? Can it be as useful as the Helix floor scribble strips? I am not 100% familiar with the scribble strips you're talking about, so I don't know if I can answer that. But as far as the live performance screen, it kind of depends on your workflow, really. You can have anything from a single line of processing up to 4 different lines and all sorts of like parallel processing or serial processing. Um, you can have a couple of different ways to control it as well between like you have preset mode, which is just like I dial in a preset, I like it, I switch over to another preset and it's completely different or whatever. So like that's your basic preset controls. You have scene mode, which is like you have 8 individual scenes per preset, which means you can go like it'll remember the bypass states and settings per block per scene. So you can have like on one scene you can have like the gain like all the way up, and then you have an overdrive pedal that's like pushing into the gain more, so you have like the super saturated tone. And then the next scene, like those blocks are still there but the settings are different, you can dial them in differently. So like one block I can have like an overdrive and a gain, high gain for like some like really screaming like like saturated tones, and then the next scene I can dial the gain back on both of those blocks and it'll remember the individual settings per scene. Another way that you can control it is by stomp box, so like you can actually assign each block to an individual foot switch, so you can control them like you would a normal like pedal board, right? So you can go in and tap dance on like dot 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 dot, turn on those 1 2 3 effects or whatever. Yeah, so that's I don't know if that answers your question. I hope it does. It's oof. Oh, okay. So he said regarding scribble strips, Helix's customizable scribble strips. That's hard to say. Why would you name it something like that? Scribble strips identify each foot switch with text labels. QC has a single LED by each foot switch. Yeah. So the LEDs correspond to the individual blocks that it controls. So like if you have a yellow overdrive, it's going to be the LED is going to be yellow. Let's see. Stefan Dupont asks, will we be able to use the foot switches on the quad cortex to send MIDI messages to control other devices? I believe so, because it has a MIDI in and out, so you'll be able to relay MIDI messages through it and assign controls to them. Yes, I believe so. Clement asks, but in scene mode from scene 1 to scene 2, can we have a different amp? Yes. So if you have it set up that you have one amp active and another amp inactive on a scene, and then switch between the two between scenes, you can have different amps that way. So like, I don't have anything up, but like, so you have this 4x8 grid, right? And then on the, let's say just like for the sake of argument, you have a single line of your signal path, right? And you have 4 blocks. Well, you have 8 blocks altogether. You can have an amp on block 3 and then an amp on block 5. And then you can have one active on one scene and the other deactivated. And then when you switch to the other scene, then it'll bypass. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, so he says he understands. Great. Stefan Flannery asks, will the QC support third-party plugins? No. Matthias asks, will there be a really good noise gate plugin for QC? I imagine so. Bastion asks, how is it going to work when the first 2,000 quads are delivered? You guys have any plans on selling it via music dealers, etc., like Music Store, Tom? Yeah, so we're looking at distributors right now. I don't know any of the details beyond that, but yeah. Matthias, dude. So yeah, so he says shit after hearing all that awesome things about things, he might consider buying the Cortex after all. God damn it. So, well, here's the thing, dude. Like, I like the way that Neural has set it up, that the pre-order is $200 deposit, but it is fully refundable. So, like, if you decide at any point that you don't like it, you can just refund it. Like that's the thing. Like, I think that it's well worth the investment. They've given you plenty of time to save up to pay it off once it ships. Um, but like, yeah, $200 is not a ton to ask for. So, so yeah, so I think that that's about it. Yeah, Evod says it's a great pre-order system. Yeah, no, it allows you to invest in it, but like, if for any reason you're not happy, we're not going to just say like, tough luck, we got your money now. Like, that's not the way that the company works. We want to make sure that you guys are happy, and we want to make sure that you guys are, satisfied with what you're getting, what you see from us. So yeah. Christian asks, "Hi from Colombia. Quad Cortex will come with a Parallax plugin. If you have the plugin, yeah, it'll find its way onto your Cortex." Aaron Sen Visual asks, "Can I load my Pliny presets from the QC?" You'll get a copy of the Pliny plugin ported, so I think that you'll be able to bring your presets in over as well. Marshall asks, "I got here late. How much is the QC?" The QC is $15.99. It's $200 deposit right now to reserve your model. The current tier, I believe, is shipping in November, because I don't think that we've sold out of the second tier just yet. But check in. Bastion says, "Great to hear. Looking forward to get my pre-order ASAP." Fuck yeah, dude. Fuck yeah. So Eric Palkovich asks, and this is a good question, for a live situation, if we have two guitarists and a bassist all using the one unit, how does it look visually? Is that like a tabbed view of each prospective person's rig? So what it is, so like you have a 4x8 grid. So you have your inputs on the left, you have your outputs on the right. And on each input, you'll assign like input 1, guitarist, input 2, guitarist, input 3, bassist, and you'll have lines going across, and those will represent your signal chain. So you'll have blocks running across those lines that'll be like overdrive, amplifier, cab sim, EQ, the reverbs, delays, that sort of thing. So all of those lines will run through the blocks that you want to affect your signal, and then you'll assign the outputs on the right-hand side, which will be, output 1, output 2, send 3, whatever. Like it'll then so it'll all be on one page, so you won't have the tab between your instruments. Quarog Tattoos asks, "Can we control it from a mobile phone application?" I don't think so. And I don't think that would be very. Yeah, I don't know if that's going to be super useful, to be honest. Yeah, I don't know. I hadn't really thought about that. Eric Palkovich says, perfect, love it. Thank you, Steven. Perfect pronunciation on the last. Oh, great, excellent. He says, tier 1 ordered and insanely stoked for this dream unit. Yeah, hell yeah, dude. I'm so stoked. I can't wait for you guys to start getting this and to see your all's reaction. Stefan says, just pre-ordered one. Seems like there are still some tier 2 available. Hell yes. Fuck yeah, man. I'm so stoked on that. So Julian asked a good question. He says he heard a lot of metal tones. Is there any plan to go a little deeper on crystal clear tones such as two rocks, Fenders, etc.? Yes, there's actually a model on there currently called the Fumble, and it sounds dope, dude. Like, that was actually probably one of the most popular amp models that we had at the NAMM show. So I know that there's going to be a lot of demos of that going up pretty soon. I think you can hear it in Rebea's tone demo. If you go to our page, he did some really great work on doing some tone demos for us. So yeah. Williams Aronson says, I hope a tier 1 pre-order falls off and I can get it. Yeah, so if you did order like really early, if you did order really early in the tier 2 and enough tier 1 pre-orders drop off, which I don't foresee happening, but if they do drop off, those earlier ones will be bumped up to tier 1. So yeah, hope, we'll see what happens. I'm going to start wrapping up pretty quick. So it's 2:08 and I need to eat some lunch. Quarog says he just pre-ordered his. Fuck yeah, dude. Hell yes. I love it. Oh yeah, no, Clement. So Clement says it's not the best time for him to pre-order because he has to move to another country and it's a cost. I totally understand that. Like, the QC's coming out regardless. Like, I get it. It's gonna be awesome, but like, if you got other stuff to take care of, please take care of that other stuff. Like, I don't think that anyone at Neural DSP would ask you to put yourself in a financial bind just to get one of our cortexes. So take care of your stuff first. We will be here, so there's no worries about that whatsoever, man. Modern Vintage actually brings up a good point. This thing has the potential to find its way into educational institutions, especially when considering headphones, multiple instruments in one unit, price, etc. Wow. Agreed. 100% agreed. Guitars and Gear Podcast asks, can one guitar have a signal chain that spans the entire grid? Yes, absolutely. It's meant to be as flexible as possible. So yeah, I can't think of a exact signal flow or that you would need that for, but I mean, like, dude, anything is possible, right? Like, who knows? Yeah, Clement says he still uses the Nameless and Nolly plugins in the meantime. Yeah, dude, those two are so solid. Like, those are usually my go-tos immediately. Stefan Flannery asks, how many blocks could a preset realistically process at once? Multiple amps, big reverbs, and etc. I mean, I think all of them, really. I mean, like, I think they're designing it so that you can use it in whatever way you want to. Like, for me personally, I doubt that I'm ever going to need more than just like 2 lines, so like to recreate a Bossie's first amp, I feel like I would need 2 lines because you need to do the parallel processing to get that kind of piezo sort of sound mixed into your regular tones. Like, I feel like I would need that. Maybe some parallel processing for some delay tones, maybe, or something like that. I don't know. Like, I'm gonna mess around with it, but I doubt that I doubt that I'm gonna use more than 2, potentially 3 lines. But again, it depends on how complicated you make your preset. So like in scene mode, I could see having a more complicated routing setup only because you would have like multiple amplifiers to trigger different like effects and like, that sort of stuff. So yeah. Ellen asks, do you know when the Omega will be released? Soon. Pretty soon. So Andreas, I said that they are considering putting a looper in. I don't know if that's going to be a final yet. But we'll see. I know that that's something they're seriously considering because people have been asking for it. But I imagine that it's going to be in wherever you want it to be. I would see, like, I could actually see that being like its own block. So that way you can move the block wherever you want it to be, either like post cab sim, pre cab sim, pre amplifier. Like, I think that would be pretty dope. Okay, I really got to wrap this up. So okay, so let's see. Let's find a good question. Okay. Good. Yeah. Final question. From Vince B. Doiron. I don't know if that's right. I just said it with the French accent. I don't know. I'm so tired right now. Asks, does it gent? Yes, it does. And yes. The Metal Edge says Fractal Audio FM3 seems to have some serious competition on their hands. Agreed. So let's go ahead and wrap this up because I need to get some food in me real quick. Otherwise, I might pass out, and that would make for a really bad stream. I feel. So let's go ahead and call that there. Oh, good. Vince says good pronunciation. I appreciate that. Frank asks, does it blues too? Yes, it does. Yes, absolutely does. Yeah, no, it was my pleasure. You all have a great night. Thank you all so much for hanging out with me. I really, really do enjoy these weekly streams. I know Doug wants to be on the stream more often, so I think maybe like on a monthly basis I'll have him on. Um, so look forward to that. I definitely want to get Francisco on the line as well, and I'm gonna start reaching out to artists and producers as well. Because I have a little bit more. I have a little bit more time to kind of research and follow up with that sort of thing. So, yeah, awesome. Thank you all so much for hanging out with me. This was so much fun, and I'll definitely see you all next week. And y'all have a great time. Oh, don't forget the Instagram Riff Challenge is still going on, so I'm super stoked to see what you all come up with. So far, the amount of talent that I've seen on that thread is fucking amazing. So if you don't know about the Riff Challenge, there's a video coming. There's a video on the channel. 50,000 Instagram followers. Riff Challenge. Check it out. It's on Instagram. Upload your shit there. It's amazing. And as always, I'll see you on the next one.